Welcome to the KYP podcast, another mini episode. We are going to talk about the journey of our guest. So, my name is Danny. I'm here with my co-host,
KYP James.
and today we have a special guest, founder and CEO of Review Card and Kirk Media. Kirk, welcome to the show.
Thank you for the invite.
Welcome, man.
I know Kirk reached out to us because he's been following a bit of our show for a while now, and finally it's nice to have someone who actually does social media to be on our podcast and talk about this topic more in detail.
Yes.
I think what I wanted to start off is tell the audience, what do you do?
Great. So how I usually start is I say I do TikToks because it's funnier and it's easier to say, but I do social media marketing and I do mostly brand strategy and branding. Okay. So the way I do that is usually we always start with a creative brief and a strategic brief because most brands, they don't know what they're selling. Okay. So we were talking about GoPro off camera just before this.
Yeah.
And GoPro, they're not necessarily selling cameras. They're selling the identity of being brave. Because let's say when you buy a GoPro camera, you're buying the identity of, hey, if I have a GoPro camera, I can go surfing and show how cool my thing is, and I'm brave doing that. Or let's say mountain biking.
Adventurous.
Yeah. So usually that's what we find first with our clients in terms of marketing. We do that, and that's how we get started. And in terms of Review Card, now we're just getting started since June of 2023, and we're starting out with restaurants, and ultimately we want to get into pretty much any business that needs reviews to thrive. So that's how we're getting started.
Nice. And have you always been into the social media world, or like what did you study in?
So I stopped after high school and I went into Cégep for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I dropped off. And that was a secret until last December. So no one knew until last December because I was telling myself, with Asian parents, we're all Asian.
Yeah.
And here. And Asian parents have some kind of expectations. I don't want to just say Asian parents. Like, parents usually have expectations for their kids and sometimes try to live things that they have not lived themselves through their kids.
Yeah.
And sometimes some parents see their kids as projects. And I'm not saying my parents saw me as a project. I'm saying that's what's happening sometimes. What got me into social media is more of showing who I am, right? Showing who I am to the world and carving my own path. Yeah. So I was not always in social media, but I left school and no one knew. And I just started doing my side hustle, which was sales. So I got into like a kind of pyramid scheme of sales. And
Is it the water company?
No. It's another thing.
Okay.
And I got invited to Vancouver. I did it. And I came back to Montreal. I did that water company. And every day I was going to school at 8 a.m., but I was going to that water store.
So is that what you were telling your parents?
Yeah. So I was telling my parents, hey, I'm going to school. I go there at 4 p.m. I carve myself a story. Okay, I'm going to go home and say, okay, the day was great. So I come back home. They ask me how it is. And I just say, hey, it was great. And then I cut the conversation short because I did not want my lies to come up, right?
Of course.
If you keep the conversation going, then maybe you could slip up something.
Yeah.
So that really messed me up. Like that.
Of course. It's tough keeping that in. It's a big secret.
Yeah.
Was this a CJEP, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. And you living with your parents?
I was living with
my
my parents.
Okay, so you have to lie every fucking day.
Every fucking day, man. For 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And no one found out, I think. Well, they did not tell me they knew. So no one found out for 4 years. And so I was telling myself, okay, so my parents want me to go to school for what? To have a degree, to have a good job, to make money, and to be happy. So what if I could have a good job, make money, and be happy without the degree? So I was like, okay, let's try to have all of that before telling them I was not going to school.
Gotcha.
So it took me 4 years to get to that point.
To make a plan.
Yeah. So in 2022, I got a sales job from someone I met in Vancouver, and Crispy, shout out to you. And it went pretty well. I made good money. I was making money. I was happy, and that's all my parents would want, right?
And did you tell them you were going to school in Vancouver at the time?
No. So I just went there for like 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it was just temporary.
Yeah.
And then you came back to Montreal, and then you were still doing that job, or?
Yeah. So it's mostly like a sales training.
Gotcha.
And then
Sounds good.
the first job I had was with the water company. So
Yeah.
we opened a store, and that's how I was making money. I was not really making money.
And who was paying the tuition technically?
The tuition for school?
Yeah, like hypothetically, who was paying for tuition? Did your parents ask?
Usually it's my parents. It was supposed to be my parents,
Yeah.
but they never asked me about it.
Oh,
So money was not going out.
so they didn't like question where like to pay tuition?
Yeah, because like the tuition it was only like $200, right?
Yeah, it's not that much.
$200 for a cégep. So I paid the first $200
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah.
And after that, we never talked about that.
Okay, so you're good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like thousands of dollars like
No,
going
no.
like where's this money going, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have to worry about tuition, which was thankfully a good portion of it.
But I had to worry about like faking my results at school.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I had to ask my cousin, like, yo, give me a screenshot of your bulletin, or how do you say, report card.
Yeah.
And I just photoshopped my name, some courses, some.
You're
some
creative,
grades.
man.
Yeah. So I did that.
Yeah.
I showed it to my parents. They're like, cool.
Wow.
And yeah.
So do they know you're not going to school now?
Yeah.
How did they feel?
So I told my mom in December when I was doing pretty well, and well, she was understanding
Okay.
because like
They always are, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
she's my mom, and she understood how lying for 4 years
Must
could
be
have
tough.
messed me up,
Yeah.
and like she was not gonna be there to like pound at that. She could have, but
Yeah.
she did not do that. She was understanding, and like, you're happy now, okay, great. Like, keep doing what you're doing, and that's great. But for a long time, she still wanted me to have that degree, but that was not in my plans.
Okay. And then how about your dad?
My dad. So, regarding my dad, he was always there, but not there at the same time, right? I don't want to bash my parents on this podcast because my parents did a really good job with everything they're doing. It's just he was there,
Yeah.
but the way that my parents stopped being together was pretty like
Abrupt.
abrupt. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So just one day he just disappeared from the house.
Oh, shit.
And like we talked about like my parents not being able to coexist. Well, they could coexist, but it was really hard on like kids going to school. And so we talked about my dad maybe moving out. And one morning, I'm still living with them. I go out and I'm like, "Yo, mom, like, where's dad?" And she's like, "Oh, he moved out." And then I hear my sister coming from her room, and she's like, "What? Dad moved out?"
Shit.
Oh
bro.
shit! Okay.
Did
Wow.
he even say like bye?
No,
Holy shit! He just.
but bro, what's fucked up? And like, it's just sometimes he comes back, and it's like as if nothing happened.
Oh, so he does come back and see you guys?
yeah.
He does come back.
Okay.
But it's like as if nothing happened.
Oh shit!
Like-
It's not like he went to buy milk and never came back.
Yeah.
Okay. At least
So-
he's still there
Yeah, he's still there, but
time to time.
yeah, from time to time.
Yeah.
That must have been a tough family situation.
Yeah, well, it was hard, but I think manageable.
Did that like motivate you somehow to become I don't know, try to support your mom, your sister? Did that motivate you business wise?
So business wise, definitely, because I don't want to like leave everyone just
course, yeah.
where they are. And like my parents taught me so much and gave me so much, like the roof, the food, and the love, and all of that. And I don't want to just like, hey, thanks for that, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
So of course I want to give back. So I'm still on that journey of giving back, and we're starting to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you got some interesting business ideas that we'd love to explore, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, let's start off with why social media out of everything.
Why social media? So it started in 2020 in COVID. So funny enough, we have a basement, and every family has like how do you say it? A treadmill? A treadmill?
Well, like those elliptical machines.
Yes.
Yeah. You just leave in the corner.
Yeah.
And it's collecting dust, right? So my mom was like, okay, why don't you put this on Kijiji and sell it? So I took some pictures of it, and it was like 2 in the morning. And so I went on it. I just tried it, and it was funny. So because it was funny, well, I just decided to prop up my phone, take a video, and post it on TikTok. So I did that. I went to sleep. I posted at 3 a.m. I wake up. It's 100K. 100K views.
No way.
What the fuck?
Like, what the fuck? No, the video's not even censored.
The video's not even centered.
So I did that, and it blew up. And so at the end of the day, it was like at 1 million.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, okay, so this concept is good. But before I did that elliptical video, I had another account. So something I did not mention is I'm doing martial arts as well.
Mm-hmm,
Right.
yes.
And I was doing like martial arts tutorials on TikTok, and it was going pretty good, pretty great.
Yeah.
And people were watching it. And same story, just post it at 3 a.m. and then I wake up, it's blowing up. And
Is that the good posting time on TikTok? Or
bro, I guess so. But it was during COVID. People had nothing to do.
For sure. It's a different time.
So that worked, and then I just kept on working. And how I studied TikTok was because TikTok is from China, right?
Right.
They have a version that's called Douyin, and in China, well, their TikTok is more advanced of like 3 to 6 months. So their algorithm, they test, well, not just the algorithm, but everything they test over there first, and 3 to 6 months later, it comes to North America.
Ooh. Okay.
So we can maybe like see in the future. So
Ooh.
I followed this guy called Max Lee on YouTube.
Yeah.
He was making like 2-hour long videos of him like smoking, talking about TikTok. And people don't really want to sit here and watch an unedited video of a guy talking with a thick Chinese accent about TikTok. But I did because I wanted to learn about that. So I took notes. I tried every single tip he talked about and what they're maybe testing. And turns out I had the recipe and it worked. So that's
You use that on the elliptical video?
elliptical and the martial arts video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you use that strategy.
Yeah.
So you're basically ahead of the game in terms of like editing wise, the timing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it's not just the timing. They also have like probably coming up like a shop feature, because in Instagram you have like a kind of shop that you click and buy something.
Exactly.
It's coming to TikTok, but it's not there yet.
But I think on the Instagram one, you have to link it to either a Shopify or
Facebook Marketplace or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not Marketplace, Facebook Business, whatever.
Yeah, Facebook Business.
Yeah.
But then for the TikTok, like the shop, is it you can sell products directly on TikTok, or do you have to link it with an external account?
So for now, we don't have that in North America yet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, but in China, I really have no idea how they do it. But that's what I kind of know, that it's coming. The shop feature is coming, so maybe position yourself differently.
right.
Ooh, so that's how you strategize. That's some market secrets right there.
So have you always had that experience, or was it more like trial by fire?
Trial it on fire.
So
Yes.
you just learn things, you try it, you do it, it fails, you pick yourself back up with that perseverance. But then again, also it kind of relates to martial arts, right? Where which martial arts did you do?
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, yeah. You try like a 540 kick, you can't do it, you pick your ass back up, you try it again until you get it. But at the end of the day, if you have the proper technique, you will succeed. Because I don't know much about Taekwondo, I did karate, but can you achieve a kick with poor technique if you try hard enough?
You could, yeah. It's
Brute force
humans
it.
are all humans, right?
Yeah.
We all have the same body. If if you can do it in karate, why can't you do it in taekwondo?
So I would definitely want to talk more about the social media side now. I know you talked about the TikTok, and you wanted to also, at the end, we want to discuss quickly about your future vision and what you want to do with your agency. But I want to know, like, once you started with the TikTok and all of these things, figuring out the algorithm, figuring out what works, what made you move from TikTok to giving services to people for marketing?
That's a really good question.
Oh yeah.
So the reason why I wanted to do that is I was following a guy doing copywriting. Okay, his name is Neville Medora, and he talked about something called being a triple threat. So being a triple threat, let's say that you love accounting, you love sports, and you love relationships. So let's say you could be an accountant for athletes and build their PR, something like that. So it's a really niche thing that you're specialized in that people need that value. So I was like, okay, I know how to do TikToks. I know how to sell because I was doing sales. So what else can I add to this? So I was thinking, okay, well, psychology, like copywriting and selling through text. So how can I put all of this together to build a service, a product that people would want and need? So that's how I created that kind of TikTok service. I say TikTok service, but it's mostly before even getting to TikToks, we have to know, okay, what are we selling? Why are we selling it? What are the benefits to the clients? And from there, we can show to people via TikToks, or vehicle, this is what we're selling, and it's going to be easier for people to understand. Because marketing is just three things. It's getting the right offer to the right audience with the right messaging. Once you have that, then it's pretty easy for people to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because they can just repeat what you're saying and sell. Your customers become your salespeople.
Right.
Yeah.
And that lowers your cost to acquire a customer to zero. You don't have to pay for customers. People are talking about that.
You don't have to pay for marketing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Apple, right?
Yeah.
Like they released just the announcement, like WDC is one of the biggest events out there. They plan an entire few months to record it in advance. And next thing you know, in Q4 or Q3, they release a new iPhone. Next thing you know, the phone's not even in the shop yet. There's just a lineup outside of people wanting to pre-order the phone. They don't know what the fuck the phone looks like. Well, okay, they do, but they don't know how it feels like. They just seen like images of it. They've heard the specs, and there's a lineup. And I think it's absolutely right, because you build that. And do you know about those that funnel you go down for the client, right? You build like the client, and then next thing you know, they become like loyal followers, and then finally they become like cultists or
Right. So there's a scale of awareness.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say it's unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. So we need to walk people through them being unaware that they even have a problem. Once we can explain to them and they can understand that they have a problem, okay, then maybe they would need a solution. Because you can't give someone a solution to a problem they don't even know they have.
Yeah.
right.
So once they have a solution, then we say, okay, then this is the solution to your problem. So here is a product or a service that would help you with that problem. So now they're product aware. They know that you have a product.
Yeah.
And after that, it's just getting them through, I hate the word like pushing people over the edge. But it's like they already know everything they need to know. And if you position yourself correctly through that scale, then the sale is already made. You don't even need to push people through the edge. They just sold to themselves.
Just jump right in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, I want to discuss about your visions, right? Because now that you have Kirk Media, you also talked about a bit about Review Card. Actually, let's talk a tiny bit
we can
about
still talk
Review
about
Card.
it. Yeah.
We have like a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. So review card, how it started, funny enough, it started with my mom. So she has a hairdressing salon, and I was like, okay, let me help out with the hairdressing salon because she's really good, but not enough people know about her.
Okay.
So that's where my marketing like came from. It's like, okay, how can I do the marketing for my mom? So I first started with a Google listing of, let's say, when you go on Google Maps, it's in French like Coiffeur Rosemont. Well, she's gonna pop up first.
Yeah.
Because like it's some SEO things as well. So I was like, how can we get people to leave more reviews? Well, first I told her, hey, ask people to give you reviews because the service is good. People say it's amazing, but they don't give reviews. So how can we bridge that gap?
Gotcha.
So at first I asked her, and it worked, but she was not too comfortable of asking for reviews. So I printed her a QR code that when people scan, it goes straight to her reviews. So I printed it, put it on the cash register at the reception,
Yeah.
and she could just tell people, hey, scan this if you like the
service. Or,
service.
Yeah.
So people scanned, we're getting reviews, but I wanted something more. There was something missing. So I was like, okay, how can we make this even easier and streamline this process? So I came up with that idea of a card, and it's not my idea. Like NFC cards exist for such a long time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and every phone since 2007 have an NFC chip in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it exists. The technology exists for a long time, but I was like, okay, why don't I just put this chip in a card, print your logo on it, and just have it to be tapped, and now we have reviews instantly.
On their phone.
Yeah, on their phone.
Yeah.
So you just tap the card with your phone, and it just pops up Google reviews. So that's what I did for my mom, and I was like, okay, who could benefit from this? So I thought about like my audience, and it starts out with restaurants.
Small businesses.
Yeah, small
Anybody.
business. Yeah,
Well, like
yeah.
service.
Yeah. Anybody that needs reviews.
Yeah.
So that customers can come in, right? Yeah.
So that's how I started with review card, and now I'm starting out with restaurants, and we're gonna expand.
Branch out. Yeah. Wow. So that's honestly, that's amazing. It's a humble beginning. It has to do with your parents, and there's a lot of love that comes through it. And man, I'm glad we met. Honestly, glad you came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to wrap up this mini episode, first of all, I want to know about your future plans. You were talking to us about it, and you have big plans, and just want the audience to know like what's in store for you.
Great. So I have two bigger vision. Vision number one, well, let's say three. So vision number one is being joyful. So it sounds really sketchy, but it's like just being joyful. I've heard so many people talk about, hey, just do what you love and life's going to be good. Well, it's really just that.
Yeah.
It's so simple. Just do what you love and everything else is going to come. So number 2 and 3, it's regarding the businesses. So for review card, we want to get into, well, pretty much all the companies that need reviews and turn that review card into a credit card. So we're going to be competing with MasterCard and Visa. So that's the goal. And number 2 is for the TikTok marketing and strategy is turning it into like not just short form content, but it's going to be mini series that are original to each, let's say, restaurants. So let's say restaurants would have their own documentaries of where the restaurant is coming from, where are the founders coming from, why did they start the restaurant. So that would be a mini series for the restaurant and like a pretty simple documentary.
It kind of relates to your second point with review card.
Yep.
It still works. You're still working with the businesses, right?
Right.
To close off the show, I always have one question I ask my guests. What is one thing you didn't believe was true until you started doing something you love?
To focus on money first.
Oh, can you elaborate on that?
So I thought it was true to, if we could make money first, you're going to love it or you're going to be successful once you make money. Well, what I found that's true, it's money is just a byproduct from value that you're delivering or even love that you're delivering or sharing. It's just if you can show people how much you love this and bring people with you in a community or in like build your tribe, then money's gonna come some way. But it's not to take out of context of, hey, don't have a plan. It's you must have a plan to, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. That's what my mentors always say, and I find it's pretty true. So have a plan, do what you want to do, you're so unique. You're so unique and you have to leverage that. So don't really care about what other people are saying. Just do you, and money's gonna come if you deliver enough value.
Wow. That was great.
Yeah, awesome, man.
So where can we find you? Your socials?
You can find me on Instagram at Kirk Wen, When, and that's pretty much where you can find me.
TikTok, YouTube. Is it
TikTok.
all Kirk?
Yeah, so YouTube is Kirk Wen as well.
Okay, awesome.
On TikTok, if you want to see my weird elliptical shit, it's at Kirk Leen. So Kirk Clean.
Gotcha.
Perfect. All right. So that concludes another episode, mini episode of the Kill Your Pride podcast. As always, my name is Danny. I'm here with my co-host
KYP James.
and our special guest.
Kirk Wen.
And remember,
KYP.
kill your pride.